Hi, I'm Rona McAdam, and I'm speaking to you today from Haliburton Community Organic Farm, and specifically from the Urban Biodiversity Enhancement and Restoration Project, what we usually call the wetlands area, where biodiversity is nurtured in keeping with the native landscape that was the traditional territory of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples and the Songhees, Esquimalt, and Wasanich peoples, whose historical relationships with the land continue to this day. This farm is home to 5 certified organic farming businesses who lease plots from the nonprofit society that administers it on behalf of our landlords, which is the District of Saanich. The property was saved from development about 20 years ago by the advocacy of a group of neighbors who wanted to see this land fulfill its agricultural mandate as a demonstration farm. I've been involved as a volunteer with Haliburton for the past 14 years, and it's taught me a lot about the value of biodiversity and sustainability in food, farming, and our place in the natural world. Meadow at dusk. Into this murk the salamander slips its small majesty. A slender entry wave settles without trace. The brack ripples with skittering life, winged and stick-legged, soft and brittle. This is a broad church whose hymns are the chirps and clacks of the night chorus. Every shadow holds more life beneath its lip, each vertical a ladder for something, every leaf a lid or bowl or nursery. Some flowers, having tracked the sun all day, close their hands on evening, resting their furrowed heads. Others pour their heart into making roots, larding their store of sunlight into bulbs the color of winter moons, or send their thoughts downward in search of rock dust or moisture. There is that conversation they have, dense and microbial, a barter worked out over millennia, swapping sweet secretions for simple nourishment. And as the season churns below ground, folding themselves into soil. Tent caterpillars. All the long spring they've been hatching, black worms, numerous and immaterial, spinning tents in the branches to house a communal appetite, falling from their shrouds in long black drops, growing into their skin and gilding bristle until, lions at last, they bask on tree limbs in the heat of noon, emerging from torpor in the cooling air. We swear we hear them, whiskering up the walls, their 1,000 fingers caressing our roofs and chimney pots. Their soft black patience lingering on our windows, watching us eat, raking their hunger along leaf lines, carving as they feed the story of their body's garden, swelling with the season, and one day leafing like autumn wings. This is a poem about wireworm, which are the larvae of the click beetle, and they were brought to North America in the sailing ships that came over from Europe. Wireworm. Its ancestors slept for months in the bellies of sailing ships, disembarked in ballast gifted to new shores, made their way like pioneers feeding on the fat of the land. And still it waxes in the crumbling dark, a pale gold sliver of moon, ancient in its segmented suit, its thin translucent bristle like the chin of a young farmer, or the brow of an old one bending to the ground to pluck a worm from its bed. Its medium is soil, its enemies few. When we drown it, it rises to new life. Starvation stills it for a season. Poison gives it pause to convalesce in its food beds. In summer, it decamps into cooler depths, rises to bask in moisture that keeps its food supple and succulent. Lover of grasses and grains, it seeks the perfume of starch and decay, makes catacombs in potatoes, mines black shadows in carrots, noses a root tip, tastes its way to the next and the next, makes ladders within the stems of seedlings, resting in its tubular meal until its host withers and falls. Tasting dirt. Earth called me to its table, and I became its fork, its knife, its roundest spoon. My teeth were its pebbles, my tongue wormed the blackest reaches, seeking to unite its minerals, its dank organic matter, its shit and water, and the white wires of roots, which thirsted in curtains for the deep and never reached it. I ate the dirt that welcomed me, that sang beneath my shovel its guttural songs, its parables of wind and weather, that turned its belly to the sun, its back on winter, that swallowed our seed, our water, our blood, and unfolded its hand of marvels. Beneath the moons of my nails, it laid down its black horizons, imprinted its reckonings on each line in my hands, bruised my face and gritted my hair, ran off my body and back to ground each night, carried me with it, dead leaves of my skin, broken stalks of my hair, making up the ancestral bed. I'm reading a poem from Cartography, which was published in 2006. The poem is Vegetable Kingdom. Alas for the vegetable kingdom, the root and branch who fall to your appetites, the gray mushroom cowering in its stall, the leaf turning on a stem in its last green afternoon, the carrot in its soft earth burrow thinly rooted to this place, or the moons of squash harboring their future, so many white rows, tender within their bodies. Pity the corn whose summer husk and silk surrender sunny teeth, or broad beans in their cushioned pods, so pale and smooth, with tiny chins and wistful smiles, the kale in all its toughened frills. Understand the artichoke's sharp defenses, heed the fierce seclusion of the cauliflower, veiling its lobes and fissures. The potato may not bleed when forked from its mound, but it mourns its nubbled young, the pearl-like orphans clinging to its threads. Harvest is a cruel time. So much is wrenched from hiding, so much is severed from its heart. When you tear these living, breathing things from earth, red carnage has its counterpart. Wild bees. Wee multitude, sun-blossomed on leaves or dark-spotting petal, pistil stamen, knowing each flower's golden mean. Sweet comfort there for our young, priming our baskets with pollen. A day's work and a day's work and a day more. All this purpose, purpose, purpose. The weeds, the woods, the garden, those single destinations, never mix this with that, one source in its many places. We fly, we crawl, we gather, and again, our futures waiting to be lardered. So many homes we have, our dark places combed and tunneled, crumbed with our comings and goings, the neatness of our labors, eggs entombed with food for an afterlife we will not witness. Our one season, this duty, duty.